died really bad.
Okay. All right, so nouns and adjectives have to agree in gender, number, and case. All right, do we have a noun-adjective pair in this sentence? And if so, who can tell me what it is? Whoever's calling David will tell us. All right, Annabelle, what do we got?
Ali Serwi.
Okay, yeah, Ali Serwi. All right, so that's our first noun-adjective pair. Okay, are there any others? Caitlin? Magnas Kistas, exactly. Okay, good. Okay, and I think that's it. All right, so let's talk about each. So Ali Serwi, what's the gender, number, and case of both? Lisa, what do you think? Okay, whoops, sorry, that's a little too thick. Masculine singular genitive, that's what you said? Yeah. Okay. I'm not so sure. To kind of help us figure that out, we kind of have to know what's going on in the sentence. I think we'd like to edit that. All right, so let's find our verb. What's my verb in this chunk here, this first chunk? Duke bond, yeah. Okay, now look at that ending. All right, bont, nt. All right, is that singular or plural? It's plural. So that means my subject has to also be what? Also has to be plural. Okay, now, our subjects are what case typically? What case do we use for subjects? Tiff? Nominatives, yeah. Okay, so let's think of our declensions. All right, the word equos. What case does that look like? Think second declension masculine. Us, I, o, I, orum, is, os, is. What case is that? It's plural, but it's what? It's accusative. And what are accusatives used for? Direct object, yeah. Okay, so we've got our direct object. All right, now Ali and Serwi. Could that potentially be nominative?
Nominative plural.
Could be nominative plural, yeah, and that's exactly what it is here. So let's mark it up. This is nominative, plural, and they're both masculine. Okay. Now domini comes from the Latin word dominus domini, right? So it's second declension masculine. Let's think of our endings. Us, I, o, I, orum, is, os, is. So we already have a subject. It's not going to be nominative plural. What's my only other option for domini? Us, I, o. Caitlin? It's genitive, yeah. Okay, so we're just going to draw the arrow here. All right, and in weam is super easy. What do I do with that? Circle it, right? Prepositional phrase. Okay, so let's translate that first chunk. All right, Ali serwi. Now remember, when you have Ali and then you have another Ali, how do we deal with that? Some and others. Good. All right, so some serwi, what are those? Annabelle?
I have a question.
Yeah, sure, what's up?
What if it's just one Ali?
If it's just one Ali, then it's other or some.
So it can be either.
Yeah, and that's where you kind of use your context to help you figure out which one sounds better, right? Because remember when we were talking yesterday about like amo, amare, and you have to figure out like what kind of definition you're going to put to that, right? That's kind of like the art of translation. You have to figure out what makes more sense. Good question. Okay, so some serwi, what are those? J?
Slaves.
Some slaves were duque bonting. What were they doing? J?
We're leading the horses of the master on the road.
Good. Okay, so some slaves were leading the horses of the master on the road. Okay, I'm going to edit that here. What case is weam? Think first declension. I, autumn, is, os, is. What case is that? Caitlin? It's accusative. Now remember that stupid little song that I taught you. You move in the accusative, you stay in the ablative. Sometimes you even move away in the ablative. So, is it in or into if it's accusative? It's into. Okay, so some slaves were leading the horses of the master into the road. If they were just in the road, it would be in via, ablative. Okay, but otherwise, good, perfect translation, exactly right. Okay, the next chunk. All right, do we think ali'i is going to be my subject still?
Yes.
Yep, okay. Where's my verb now in this new chunk? David, what do you think?
There's actually two.
Mm-hmm.
Kurebant and Ponebant.
Good, kurebant and ponebant. Good. And they're both singular or plural? Plural. What tense are they? Do we know? What tense is that?
They're the imperfect.
Yeah, how do you know?
Because they end with BAN.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they're imperfect because they have a BA in it, and that's our imperfect tense marker. What kind of sheep go ba, everyone? Imperfect sheep. What kind of sheep say nothing at all? The present sheep. And we'll learn what the future sheep say very soon. Yeah, the future sheep. Yeah, so ali'i kurebant. What am I going to do with e wila?
Circle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What am I going to do with in raidam?
Circle it.
Yep. Good. Okay, so now all we have left to contend with is magnas kistas. All right. So who would like to tell me the gender number in case of this noun adjective pair? Annabelle. Good. Yeah, exactly right. Accusative, plural, and feminine. All right. Now, Oh, sorry, I'll highlight that again. All right, so let's so if it's accusative, what is it doing in the sentence? What's the function? Annabelle? Direct object, good. All right, so let's translate that. Right, some slaves were leading the horses of the master into the road. Others were what? Others were what? Who'd like to take that? Evan, you want to give it a shot for me? What were others doing?
Others were running and place great chests in the carriage.
Okay, but where were they running? We forgot about a wila. Where were they running?
Out of it.
Exactly, A or X, out of. Yeah, so some were running out of the farmhouse or the country house and were placing big chests or big boxes into the carriage. All right, any questions on that? Okay. Do you guys remember how finding the noun adjective pairs was? Was it difficult for some, sort of? Are we like getting used to it a little bit? Okay, I wonder, is there? Yeah, what's up?
Is it putting the chest into carriage or is it in carriage?
Well, let's think about that. That's a good question. All right, so to answer that, we need to look at the case of raidam. All right, and it's a first declension noun, raida, raidai. Right, so let's think our first declension endings. I, ah. So what case is that? Up one.
Oh, wait.
It's accusative, right? And what do you do in the accusative? You move in the accusative, you stay in the ablative, sometimes you even move away in the ablative. Right? So if this is accusative, is there motion? There is. Yeah. If it were raida, ablative, there would be no motion. It would just be stationary in the carriage.
Okay.
But because it's accusative, there's motion towards something. Yeah. You okay?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just felt tired.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You just made me really nervous.
Oh.
Okay. Sorry. I'm like trying to watch out for you guys. I hope you're all right. Okay. Good question, Jason. All right. Move on to number 2. All right. My noun adjective pair. What do we got? You can find them. J.E. Noun adjective pair.
Multus epistolas.
Good. Multas epistolas. Good. All right. And they have to agree in gender, number, and case. So what's the gender, number, and case of multas epistolas?
Feminine, accusative, plural.
feminine, accusative, and plural. Excellent. Exactly right. So we've got our direct object here because it's accusative. What's my verb? What's my verb? Annabelle?
Screw it.
Yeah.
And impedit.
Good. Screeb it and impedit. All right. Now my subject of screeb it is who? What's nominative? Caitlin? Cornelius is good. Okay, so ubi. Is it going to be when or where? How do I know? Is it when or where? Look at the punctuation to help you. Is it a question? No. So which one would make more sense? When. Yeah. So when Cornelius scribits multas epistulas, when he what? Writes. How many?
letters.
Many, yeah, when he writes many letters, nemo impedit eum. So eum, someone tell me about that word. What eum here? What case would that be? Do we remember? What do you think, Annabelle?
Accusative singular.
Yep, it's accusative singular, so it's our direct object, and it comes from the word is, ea, id, he, she, or it. Okay, so it just means him here because it's accusative. So nemo, nobody, impedits eum. How am I going to translate that?
Prevents him.
Yeah, no one prevents him or hinders him. Right, so essentially what this is saying is that when Cornelius is doing business, nobody's supposed to disturb daddy in the office, essentially.
I don't see my dad like that often. So what's the translation?
So when Cornelius writes many letters, nobody hinders him. Hinders. Right, and a good English word that comes from impedit is to impede. Right, if you impede somebody, what are you doing? You're hindering them, you're stopping them, exactly. Okay, any questions on that one? No? All right, let's work through number 3 together. Can I have a volunteer to read the Latin out loud, please? Tiffany, please, thank you. Good. Okay. So here we've got 2 chunks. We've got the C clause, and we've got this second chunk here. So we'll take it chunk by chunk. All right, first things first, it's most important to find the verb, and the verb typically hangs out at the end of either the clause or the sentence. All right, so in that first chunk, what's my verb? What's my verb, Tiff? It's wax on. Good. Okay, now what am I going to ask about wax on? What am I about to ask? Singular or plural? And it's plural, so what am I about to look for? A plural nominative, good. Do we have a plural nominative here?
We have a singular.
Where?
That also. I'm just looking at the plural and has CUN.
Okay, so liberorum. I will tell you that the ending on that is aurum. So think of our,
Oh,
so that's genitive plural.
okay.
All right, so that's going with something. It's probably going to be going with magni voces. All right, what is my subject? Is it patrem or is it magni voces? Caitlin? It's magni voces, good. All right, so that's going to be our subject. And do we have a noun adjective pair here, magni and voces? Yeah. All right, so let's think about it. All right, AE and ES, those endings don't look the same, but if you were to check it out, they do indeed agree in gender, number, and case. In order to do this, we need to know our third declension endings and our first and second declension adjective endings. All right, so let's think of our third declension endings. Do we remember? X, is, E, M, eis, ibus, eis, ibus. Okay, now, the word is wocase, right? So what case, what's one of my possibilities? What are my two possibilities, Caitlin? Nominative or accusative plural. Okay, so we know that vox vocis is feminine. All right, so let's go up to our chart here, and it can either be plural, feminine nominative, or accusative. So let's check it out. What is it going to be? So we're in the plural chart. We're in the feminine side. So my options are magnai or magnas. So which one is it? It's nominative, yeah. So you see how you can use adjectives to help you figure out what case something is if there is debatable evidence nearby? Okay, so it's magnai. If it were accusative, it would be magnas voces, but it's not. So it's feminine. This noun adjective pair is feminine, nominative, and plural. Okay, now let's talk about patrem for a hot second. EM. All right, pater, patris is a masculine third declension noun, and we did just go over those endings. So, what case is patrem? X, is, e, m, a, ace, ibus, ace, ibus. What case is that? It's accusative. So, what are our accusatives used for? Good. Direct object. Okay, so now let's work through that. C just means if. So if, and now we trust our markup. If the magnai voces, what are those? Yeah, if the loud voices. Now, liberorum is genitive. What's the key word for the genitive case? Of, good. So if the loud voices of the children vexant the patrem, what do? Annoy the father. All right, now we're going to get to the second part of the sentence. Where's my verb in the second chunk? From Aurelia to mittit. Where's my verb? Evan? Not strenuous. Usually it hangs out at the end of the clause. Mittit, good, right? Because remember, oh, so you just guessed it. Well, use what's around, right? So in, we know, is a preposition. And typically, an object of the preposition follows directly behind the preposition. So hortum, then, is probably part of the prepositional phrase. Does that make sense? Okay, so we've taken care of that. Now, mittit, singular or plural? Singular. All right, so my subject has to be nominative and singular. Do we have one here? Tiff? Aurelia, good. Now, we've got a noun-adjective pair, pueros, strenuos, and lucky for us, the endings look the same, because puer, pueri is a second declension noun, and strenuos is a first and second declension adjective, okay? So, os, that os ending, what's the case? And number and gender. Let's look. Look for os. Dost thou see it? But soft. Where is it? Jason.
Masculine.
Yeah, masculine, plural, accusative, os. All right, and that is the gender number in case of our noun adjective pair. Okay, so now we've got our markup. Let's translate the rest. All right, so if the big voices or the loud voices of the children annoy daddy, Aurelia does what? What does she do? She mittits the pueros strenuos into the hortum. Annabelle.
Sends the boys. What does that mean?
Strenuos is like energetic.
Sends the energetic boys into the garden.
Into the garden, yes. Okay, so Aurelia sends the energetic boys into the garden. So think about if something is strenuous, how are you doing it? If you're like working strenuously, what does that mean?
Hard.
Kind of hard, right? So strenuous can mean like hard or energetic in a way. Okay, yeah.
Can you repeat the translation?
The whole thing for number 3? Yes. Does it help when I highlight the words as I translate them? Yeah, okay. So if the great voices of the children annoy the father, Aurelia sends the pueros strenuos into, what did I say that was? The energetic boys into the garden. Okay. Any questions on that one? All right, our noun adjective pair is starting to become a little more clear. Like you kind of see how they work and how they can be helpful, right? See, what's nice, like in Greek, you use articles, but Latin doesn't use articles. So in Greek, you can tell what case something is a little more specifically, but Latin is like, nope. You want some help? Nope. Maybe I'll give you an adjective, but probably not.
You know, yesterday was National Mental Health Day or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I don't know.
Did you know that?
I had like 7 pieces of homework from school to do yesterday.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, actually, she didn't sign anyone. She did.
Okay, number 4. Let's keep moving. Do you guys should I move a little bit faster? Is this kind of, am I going too slow?
Yeah, we should move past.
We should move faster? Okay, sorry. I want to make sure that everybody's like on the same page. All right, can I have someone read number 4 out loud, please? All right, David, please.
Pilarum Nona Woka Angela Noah.
Noah, yeah.
Sorry. Says January Prilai Magnum Wokem Angeli Non Audience.
Good. Okay, now we've got a semicolon here. All right, we've got 2 kind of chunks, right? And using our reading skills. Said. What does said mean? It's a conjunction, but what does it mean? It means but. So what can we anticipate? We've got one idea, and then the following idea. Is it going to be in the same strain, or is it going to be contrasting? Contrasting, right? So you know off the bat, like we're pre-reading. That's what that's called. You pre-read the text. Okay. So first things first, find the verb. Lisa. Wolcott, good. All right, singular, plural? Lisa? Singular, good. So we need a nominative singular. Do we have one? Jason, what do you think?
I think so. Wait.
Why would they do this? This is a trick sentence. This is a trick. Can you spot the trick? What are they trying to make you do or think? Look at the word nomina. If you didn't know any better, what would you assume that is? Does that look like it could be a singular nominative, first declension noun? But it's not. Sneaky, it's not. Whoa. Yeah, they're trying to like set you up to fail, which is not really nice. All right. So it's nomen nominis. It's actually a third declension neuter. All right, so let's think of our endings here. Neuter. It's ex, is, say them with me. Ex, is, e, ex, a, ibus, ibus. Okay, now, the word is nomina. So, what is that? It's not nominative singular, but it could be what? Nominative plural or accusative plural, right? But it's probably not going to be our subject because our verb is singular. So this is definitely not our subject. So what's left? What looks nominative and singular? Caitlin? Ankila Noah, exactly. Is that a noun adjective pair? Booyah. Yep. So we know the gender number and case already. Ankila is feminine. And we know that it's nominative, it's our subject, and it is singular. Okay. Let's keep keep going. Now, we said that nomina could either be nominative plural or accusative plural. We already have a subject, so what does nomina have to be then? Has to be accusative, yeah. So it's our direct object. And puel arum, A-R-U-M. Let's think of our first declension endings. I, arum, is, as, is. What case is that? Genitive plural. Nice. Okay. So now we'll trust our markup. The ankila noa, what are those? Oh, what is that? Who is that? What's an ankila? Slave woman. And noa comes from novus aum. If something is a novel idea, I say, oh, that's a novel idea. What does that mean? Is it something that's been done before?
No, it's new.
It's new. Okay, noa is new. All right, so the new slave woman, wokat, what does she do? Calls the nomina of the puellarum, the names of the girls said. But, all right, now, where's my verb? Is the subject going to change? Evan, where's my verb? Did you say vocat?
Wait.
Go a little further. So we're in the second half of the sentence now. Careful, that's not a noun. And sorry, that's not a verb ending. Go to the end of the sentence. What do you think? Yeah, audion. Good. All right, now nt, singular or plural? Evan, what do you think? Oh, thanks, Evan. Evan, Tiffany. Yeah, so it's plural. Now, what's my plural subject? It can't be magnam vocem. It could be ankilai. It could be ankilai. That's nominative. You think it's puellai? Okay. Yeah, I think it's probably I think this is our subject. Okay. So strenuae puellae is our subject, right? And that's a noun adjective pair. What's the case, number, and gender of that? It's our subject, so what case is it? Nominative. What gender is it? Puellae tells us it's feminine. And singular or plural? Plural, good. Okay. Now, magnam vocem is another noun adjective pair. Right? The endings don't look the same, but that's because vox vocis is a third declension noun going with a first and second declension adjective. Okay, but we know that vox vocis is feminine because of the am on magnam. Okay, so we figured out the gender. Now what's the case? Think of your first declension endings. I, ah. What case is that, Caitlin? It's accusative, and is it singular or plural? Singular, good. Okay, and that's our direct object. Now, all we're left with is ankilai. All right, so that AE ending, let's think of our first declension, right? Say them with me. I, You guys are not saying them with me. I, arum, is, as, is. Okay, so the ending on ankilai is AE. We've got some possibilities here. So how do we narrow it down? What do you think? We've already got a subject, so it's not going to be nominative. And there's no verb of giving or showing, so it's probably not dative. What's left? Genitive. Okay, and that's what it is. All right, so let's translate. Trust your markup. So the strenuae puellae, the what? The energetic girls, non audiunt, did not hear the magnam vocem, the loud voice of the ankilai, of the slave woman. Good. Okay, so you see how we kind of work through that systematically? Okay. Any questions? No? All right. I'd like to stop here. Don't look so pleased, geez. Yes, I know this isn't the most exciting, but
It's like whenever like teachers are missing, I like the whole class just celebrates.
you wish ill upon your teachers? You want us to be sick so you can have a free?
No, but like still, but like
That hurts.
it's like